What's up, guys? It's MB Boxing, and I just finished up watching Oscar Valdez versus Robson Conceicao, and this was a 12-rounder for the WBC super-featherweight world championship, and this fight was Friday, September 10th, from the Casino del Sol in Tucson, Arizona, and this fight was broadcasted on ESPN, ESPN Plus, or on the ESPN app, and in this fight, Oscar Valdez was able to get a unanimous decision victory over Robson Conceicao. And let me just say this clear. I thought Conceicao won this fight. I had about scored 116 to 111 in favor of Robson Conceicao. I thought he won clear, and I think the judges' scorecards were not that good. Two of the judges had it 115 to 112 in favor of Valdez, and one judge had it 117 110, which is a awful scorecard. I mean, that is one of the worst scorecards. When I heard 117 110, I was hoping they'd give it to Conceicao because he clearly won 5 rounds at least. The first 5 were dominant in favor of Conceicao. The third round was the only round, in my opinion, you could have possibly given to Valdez out of that first 5. Then, in the last 2, or I shouldn't say the last 2, in 10 and 11, those were clear rounds for Conceicao. So there you already have 7 rounds that should be given to Conceicao. I thought he won clear. I had it, I believe, 8-4 in favor of him because there was a weird point deduction. I'm going to break that down a bit, which was terrible. That was just weird. Why would a referee take away a point for such a weird call? But early on, as I mentioned before, Conceicao was just dominating Valdez, landing combinations from mid-range, countering him and making him look silly. The only shot that he landed in the third round to give the round to him, was just an overhand right. And, the rest of that round was just Valdez getting boxed from the outside. But then, after the, second half of the fight started, Valdez did start to pick it up, and he won, he made the rounds competitive. On my scorecard, he didn't win a lot of them, but he made them fairly competitive. But then, I believe it was in the 9th round, Valdez was in the clinch with Conceicao, and Conceicao, I'm pretty sure most boxing fans know when a fighter's in the clinch, when they get in, they might land that tap shot to the back of the head, like a tap with their glove. And Conceicao landed one of those, and usually they have no damage, and the referee just breaks him up and lets him fight. But this referee listened to the crowd screaming, and he deducted a point from Conceicao with not even a warning. That was not even a shot behind the head, a real shot. That was just a little tap that wasn't even a punch. He just tapped him with a glove. That was one of the worst point deductions I've ever seen in my life in watching boxing. And then a funny thing, later on in the fight, I believe in the 10th or the 11th round, Valdez landed a clean shot behind the head. He leaped in with an overhand right or a right hook, whatever it was, and he hit directly behind the head of Conceicao, and he got a warning. Then he hit him behind the head again, and he got another warning. So he got 2 clear warnings for hitting behind the head and actually hitting behind the head, not just tapping him behind the head when just jumping in the clinch, legitimately throwing all your power into a shot at the back of his head. I think there was bias in favor of Valdez, clearly in the judging and in the refereeing. Comment down below your thoughts on this fight. And just to break down the 12th and final round, Valdez, or should I say Conceicao, thought he won the fight clear. He was just dancing around the ring, waving his hands up in the air. And I was thinking, why are you going to do that? You're in Arizona. You got 2 New Mexico judges, and the crowd is cheering for you. The referee already deducted a point. Why are you raising your hands like you won? I thought he won, but as I mentioned before, comment down below your scorecard. I'm very interested to see how other people scored the fight. From what I saw on social media so far, I saw that many people had Conceicao the victor here. That's just my thoughts, but what is next for Oscar Valdez? I hope he could fight another world champion, possibly the winner of Herring versus Shakur. I wouldn't mind seeing that. All of those guys are on Top Rank, so I would assume that would be a really easy fight to make. And maybe even a rematch. I know it's very unlikely they'll give Conceicao a rematch, but he performed much better than I thought he would. I thought he would get sparked and lose on the judges' scorecards pretty wide. I thought he would be down pretty wide before getting knocked out, but he really impressed me, and I thought he won pretty clear. But what is next for Robson Conceicao? As I mentioned before, when talking about what's next for Valdez, maybe a rematch. That is very unlikely. But I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing him against anyone in the top 10 right now at 130, top 15, anyone around there. I mean, he just showed that he could compete with those guys, as he put on a great performance against Oscar Valdez, in which I thought he won, as I mentioned before. So I just wouldn't mind seeing him in a big fight next after this a very good performance. So overall, Oscar Valdez defeats Robson Conceicao by unanimous decision to successfully defend his WBC super featherweight world title for the first time. Although I thought it should have been a victory for the challenger Conceicao. And yeah, that's really it. I'm MB Boxing. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.